going to be looking at coach's office. It's not what I normally use. I use Playmaker a lot. But I like the software, and I'd like to get a little bit better at handling it. So that's what we're looking at, and that's what we're going to be using. So it may take me just a minute longer than normal. But we started out in our base, okay? And we say, what are we really good at? What are we most effective with? What are we, how are we going to be really good at running this thing, giving a different look, but without changing too much? And of course, everything starts with power. So we started off basically with power and figuring out how we could do that. So the first thing with this is we took our tackle and moved him over. We only run this out of one direction. So we only run this to the right. So it would be like our typical kind of plow formation with the tight end, or actually I guess be more like a trick formation with the X and the Z to one side, the Y to the other side, but we ran the tackle over. The X, depending on what we're doing, the X is either in a nasty split, like a 5-yard split, or he can be split out wider. And then the Z is lined up as a wing on the outside hip of the tackle. The H-back lines up, remember, a line to perform. He lines up in that B-gap area, maybe a little bit wider because a lot of this is going to be run off of the tackle. And so, he may be more like his outside foot splitting the crotch of the tackle, maybe a little bit wider, but he's a yard off, a yard behind him, and he's in position now to kick out for the power. Also, he's going to be able to lead on our zone plays as well and kind of give us an extra guy. The quarterback and the R, and again, we won't use our normal quarterback and R. We started out saying basically you are going to have your inside foot on the heel of the center, and they are about 4.5 yards depth, and that's worked pretty well for us. But so the weirdest thing, our center, very, very good, right? And it's not like he looks between his legs. We snap with which is perfect for this, we snap with the old Sutherland style snap, the snapping with the nose of the football, rather than, then it goes the dead snap, the dead T, the T snap, whatever, lots of names for it. But the Sutherland snap, if you want to know it, then YouTube Jock Sutherland, Sutherland, if you've never done it. I've got a video on how to do it as well. I believe in JDFB Insider. If not, then I think I've got one on YouTube or something. But that snap, I think there's one in the Pistol Power Offense system is where it is. But that snap has been great for us. It's just been fantastic because it is so simple. Our center never had snap issues except in this. And so we basically just said, okay, whoever's getting the ball, slide over so you're straight behind him. But I want them very close together so it's not obvious who's getting the football, because he would try to drift it to the right or to the left, unconsciously doing that because he knew he was just supposed to snap it straight back, but he knows where the guy is at, and just, it was a mess. So here we go. We've got our base alignment. So we've got, from left to right, we've got our Y, then our left guard, center, right guard, right tackle, and then the left tackle. Now, our left tackle is usually our best guy, right-handed quarterback, right? So now he's over there giving you an extra blocker to the right side, which you definitely like to have. H-back, there's nobody else to the left. So this is a very overloaded to the right formation, and we only ran this to the right. I've never messed with flipping it because it's just never been critical, but I'm sure it's something that we could do. Then you've got the Z lined up as a wing, 1x1 off the tackle, and the X in a nasty split in the base package, nasty split being 5 yards off of the tight end. Okay, so you got a little bit of space between them. The H-back is your sniffer back, his outside foot on the inside foot of the tackle, so he's in position to kick out, and he's 1 yard off of the tackle as well. We said things like just be able to reach out and touch the tackle's butt. Don't do it, but just know that you can. That kind of puts you in the right spot. I actually liked it a little bit looser than that. I liked it a little bit where he could move a little bit more than that. And then the quarterback and the R, who are basically 4 yards off and inside foot, so the right foot of the R. The R is centered off to the left. The quarterback is centered off to the right, to the strong side. And that is where they are set up to run this offense. So then we look at, all right, how do we run power? What are we going to do to get power out there? Because we know that this is our starting point. We know that power is what we want to run. Again, we've got to figure out what teams are going to give us, because you're just not going to get anything consistent at all that you can say, hey, this is how teams play this formation. So there's a learning process, and one of the things I'll talk about, we talk about in the system, we won't probably get into it too much here, is that you want to get to a point where you can let your quarterback or someone make the call on what's being run, because you get so much junk that you can find, they can see openings. I mean, you'll literally have openings in the front that you can just attack. And if you let the quarterback or somebody who's out there say, okay, this is what we're going to, this is what looks good, you can always get kind of the right play calls in. But we started off with power. Power rules don't change. The only difference now is that the tight end job, the job of the Y, his rules are being done by the left tackle, because you've swapped the Y and the left tackle. Okay. It makes a difference. You could probably make the Y, we've had a lot of times we've taken the Y, and I should add, I like to use this package to get some guys who are at a small school with like 30 guys on the team. There's some guys who are legitimate. When you're a good team, there's some guys who are legitimate, like they can be offensive players, but they're not, because you just don't have a place for them. And so they're playing a primary defensive role, and they can get involved here. They can get involved as, your backup H-back, your backup Y, maybe somebody who's not getting a lot of carries as an R or a quarterback. They can be the guy in this, or a running back or an R or a Z receiver. They can get some extra touches here, get some extra involvement here, stay involved with your offense, so that, when they're working all those blocking drills, they're not just completely wasted. With everybody else is running their normal power. So we're going to run power to the right and counter to the left. That's actually what we do in the pistol power in recent years in the pistol power offense. That hasn't changed. So the center's rule is to always block back. The rules for the guard and tackle are essentially this, and it is, if the guard is covered and the center is uncovered, then we are going to double team with the guard and tackle. If the guard is uncovered, the tackle is covered. Actually, the actual rule is if the center is covered and the guard is uncovered, but it's kind of easier for them to see, okay, tackle's covered, guard isn't. If the tackle is covered and the guard is uncovered, the guard is uncovered, yep, then the tackle and tight end, and in this case, the two tackles, will double team. Okay, so that's what you look for when you get up to the line, and that's base power rules. And again, if you want to learn those base power rules, you can get it by going to pistolpoweroffense.com/podcast, and I've got a free video series that you can download there, get access to there, and of course join the Pistol Power Offense system, pistolpoweroffense.com, or JDFP Insider gets you access to all my systems at joedanielfootball.com. The tackle, if he's not in the double team, if the guard isn't in the double team, then he blocks back. If the tackle isn't in the double team, then he is going to block the A-gap area. Generally a backside linebacker, but just whoever shows in that 5 yards over top of the center, A-gap area. Don't allow any seams, don't allow anybody to undercut you. I'm not going to go through every little detail of blocking power here, because, kind of done it. So that is the starting point for this play. That's the base rules. The H-back, that sniffer is always going to be kicking out. He's going to be kicking out anybody who is the first man on or outside of the tight end is the rule. And then again, in this case, it's the tackle. So the first man on or outside of the tight end, the end man on the line of scrimmage, however you want to call it, he's going to be kicking him out. Normal power rules. backside guard. And again, that's the important thing here. Is these are just normal power rules for us. It's not some sort of new offense that we put in. The backside guard is the wrapper. He's going to pull and wrap to the front side linebacker. We use a skip pull with him. That's what he does all the time. So this is nothing new for him. He's skip pulling to the backside, to the front side linebacker. And again, there's a lot of details that go into that, but it's what you already do. So they already know it, and it doesn't complicate things. We've got a hinge by the tight end now. So the tight end now has the hinge. What the hinge is just hops down to cover where the guard is leaving to make sure we don't get any penetration. He's essentially concerned with the blitz by the will linebacker because I don't think the end can run it down. But you are playing with a little bit. It's not a shorter edge. It's just what the tackle would do. I don't think he's going to run it down, so I'm not that worried about the end running it down. I want to make sure that the will backer doesn't get run through to chase that play down. The receivers are, I always tell the X to just run a corner route, run his normal corner route. So get out there, and he runs a corner on a play action that we'll talk about later. And on that play action, what we always look for, again, going back to your sequence thing, is if I see the corner making tackles when we start running our outside stretch game, if I see the corner making tackles, we need to go to the pass. Because if the corner is the guy that they're depending on to make tackles on the edge, we can go to the pass. The Z receiver, I will usually have arc to the, so that's your wing back. I will usually have him arc to whoever is in the force position. And again, sometimes there's nobody, right? Sometimes it's just like, I don't know who's responsible for this. I don't know who's doing it. But we'll arc release him out there to kind of widen the force player, whoever's looks like they're responsible for force out there. I had a mistake there. I had the Q and the R backwards, and I did that all through the videos for the system. I don't know why I do that, but I had them backwards. So what happens on this is, so this play is going to be called 14. Okay, the 1 says the quarterback is taking the snap. All right, and he's running the ball. The 4 is power. 4 is just our number for power. So 14. The quarterback is going to take the snap, and he's going to fake an outside zone or an outside run play to the R. So the R is going to give us some misdirection on this. At other times, I have used the R as an extra lead, okay, to give me an extra lead blocker on this as well. So you can do it either way. Do you want numbers, or do you want kind of a misdirection sort of thing? Kind of a different look out there. You've got the option to decide, do I want to have an extra lead blocker, or do I want to have a fake or a misdirection off of this? And I've done it both ways. You can do it both ways. So the R either fakes, or he can lead, and the quarterback takes it, and he's just going to ride for a second, because remember that normally on the power we have a reverse pivot. The running back, he counter steps and then comes over to take the ball. So we've got to have, I like the fake because it gives the quarterback the timing as he rides the fake and then pulls it to then get up in there and now become your lead blocker. Now carry the ball. So that's what we're looking for out of this, is a little bit of a fake to the R. And again, I've done it with and I've done it without. It's just up to you. And then you're going to have him run the power path. Okay, so he's going to be your normal power guy. So fake, and then take the ball and get in behind that pulling guard. That's basically what we want to happen. So the next play that we put in is 15. 15 is going to be the same thing based off of the, and I'm sorry, I said 15, 25. So it's going to be going to the left. 25 is going to be our counter play. So we're going to do the same type of thing here. And the difference being that we are going to give the ball, or excuse me, the R, since it's 25, is going to take the snap. He is going to fake to the quarterback, who gets most of the carries in this. I haven't even gotten to our base play, but mostly It's the quarterback getting the carries. What happens now is we run our base counterplay, which is not going to be anything particularly special. It is the same. The beauty of it is the same blocking scheme as we run with the. It's the same blocking scheme as we run in our power play. So we really only use a couple of blocking schemes overall. The rules are the same. If the guard is uncovered, then he would. If the guard is uncovered and the tackle is covered, then there would be a combo, but there's no combo because there's no tight end, and so he just goes down inside, and we end up kicking the guy that's over top of the tackle. So generally, we're looking to kick the guy who is on or outside of the tackle in our counterplay. The guard, if he's not going to be in a combo, if the guard is covered, then we combo him. If the guard is uncovered, then he just blocks down onto the nose. We don't ever have the center handle a head-up nose. The center's rule is always to block back. It's the simplest rule that there is. We do one thing. We wrap the backside, pull the backside guard, okay, to be the kick out. So what changes is that the kick out and the wrapper swap between the H-back and the guard. They swap. So now the H-back is going to wrap to the play side linebacker. That's going to be his job. The tackle is going to, A-gap area or whatever. The H-back is going to take us to that backside linebacker. We're going to hinge with the backside tackle, just exactly what he does on counter normally. Now, the one thing that I added in, and I don't know, I ever had a really athletic tackle. This was no problem with him. You might not be able to do this all the time. I pulled the backside tackle as well, and that just added the over tackle, so the left tackle who's on the right side. I pulled him as well, and what it did was it added an extra blocker just in case everything wasn't there, and it just really gave this an extra element where we got that lead blocker around, we got that extra blocker around, and made it, a real overload counter. Now, overload counter with the only person not showing counter being the quarterback. So the snap goes to the R, who's set to the right. The quarterback is going to fake. So the quarterback is going to fake in front. Okay, he's going to fake in front. We want them to think that he's getting the ball. He always gets the ball. This is going to come back to matter later. We want them to think he's getting the ball. The R is going to ride. We'll even hop step this with the R to give the tackle time, kind of like you do on a power read. Okay, and it probably, when it's run really well, it maybe even looks like a read play. But the R is going to hop step that, give it a good look, give it a good feel. And then he is going to be turning it up and following that backside tackle out of there. So he wants to stay in that ride long enough that backside tackle is getting cleared. So he's going to ride it just a little bit. That's like we said, we could hop step it, and that creates our counter look off of it. Okay, so that's going to be 25. It's not run a lot. What we look for, and again, you want to give these guys a little bit of the ability to make these decisions. So what we look for is there a lot of space between the down linemen. I mean, do you see a lot of space on the left side inside of the defensive end? If you see a lot of space on the left side outside the defensive end, we have something else. If you have numbers, if there's too many guys on the left, basically if you have like 4 on the left, you're probably not calling this. You're looking for like 3 guys in the box on the left. That's when you're going to call it. When they start to overload to the right, that's when you're really going to do it. Okay. So we're looking, this play gets called pretty rarely, but you're looking for a specific look in order to call it. So that's 25. That's your counter. And it's technically called 25 counter, but we kind of call these from the line. So he just says 5, and they know 25. So if he just says 5, okay, this is 5. This is the only way that we run 5. out of this formation, out of this set, out of this package. And again, I like to have the same guys in this package as much as we can. Backside, your receivers, the X is always going to be running that corner route, and you can arc or you can run a shoot with your Z, whatever kind of makes sense to you. It's not critical, obviously, what they do out here. They're kind of bonus players at this point. They're out there. It's nice to have them out there. You can arc release just like you normally do, and have the Z always doing that. It doesn't matter. Run a route because it's going to help your routes, your pass later. Now we get to what is really the bread and butter. This is the base play. I didn't start with it because I had to be able to run power first, but it ended up power wasn't the best play. What ended up being the best play was just traditional outside zone stretch being run from this. And remember, a lot of times this is a 2-point conversion play. And so we're looking at, like, can I get numbers on this side? Can I just overload it? And can I just run into the end zone? And so this is the play where the power, we're more likely to use a little bit of misdirection to help with the timing. When we run the stretch, I am definitely looking for this to be a total student body right, let's go type of play. And the best guys at this package are the guys who will take this, find any seam, and stick their nose in it. Find anything that they can. The first thing, again, is that you must understand the base rules. You must know who is responsible for what, how to count your outside zone or your zone play. I have not run inside zone from this. We definitely could. It wouldn't take anything. It would just be 11 or 12. It wouldn't be any problem at all, but we've just never done it. I think I would probably have, if I wanted to run inside zone, I would probably need the H to kick out. I could still probably lead with the R unless I want him to run it, but I would need the H to kick somebody on the end man. With this, I don't. We just outrun the end man to the other side. So the first thing you've got to know is the count system, and the zone count system is extremely important. We teach it in the Pistol Power Offense system, pistolpoweroffense.com. That zone count system is so critical, but if you've got it down, you can run this play. You need to know who the play side zero is. The play side zero is the guy that the center is going to be responsible for. One thing about this, I'm not as concerned about the combos. Your guys are really good and they really know what they're doing. They're going to be able to combo fast, but we like to go fast and just get up there, count it up, look and see. We teach that guy, that quarterback, to count. If he goes, okay, I got 4 guys over here. There's only 3.5 for us. That means that I've got 7.5 of my guys, and I've got, basically 7 of them. And if the numbers are better than that, there's zero hesitation. If it's not clear that something else is open, they're usually getting the line and going 6. Okay, 6 is zone right, 7 is zone left, outside zone right, outside zone left. Okay, so this is 16. Again, another play for the quarterback. So the zone count system starts with, and we normally would combo everything, but if all you can do is man block this, then that's okay. If you don't have time, because again we want to go fast, that's all right. Just get up there, and the first guy, the most likely A gap defender, which could be a head up nose. In 4-3, the mic is the mic. There's a whole set of rules in the Pistol Power Offense system for this. You've got to know those rules. You've got to know that you're trying to reach capture the outside wing, to reach the outside shoulder of that guy and flip your hips around. It's a reach block basically on this. But the guard has number 1, which is generally the B gap defender. The tackle has number 2, which is generally the C gap defender, and the tight end has usually the force, but it's whoever the number 4 is out there. Number 3 is out there. The Z is going to block number 4, so probably something he hasn't done before, and he'll have to learn it. The X is going to run a corner route. I want to see you. I really want to see you ignore that corner route. I want to see him standing in the end zone, and I want to see the corner making the tackle, because I will steal this if you'll give it to us. The H-back actually can loosen up a little bit here, but he's looking for the bubble. Okay, and the bubble is, where is there a spot that I can lead up and go get somebody? Anything that I can find a little space to get through there. Again, we're just bringing a ton of guys. He's looking for to basically lead. And it helps if he's some kind of a running back who can understand where to go, where the running back would run. But he's just looking for a bubble. We just tell him to look for a bubble. Backside guard blocks the backside 1, which is the A-gap defender on the weak side or on the away side, and the backside tackle, or backside tight end in this case, he blocks the B-gap defender. We're not worried about the defensive end because I don't think he can run it down because we're catching this ball and taking off. It is a direct snap. Let's go. The R is also running for the bubble. So a lot of times he knows the H is going to fill one bubble. He may end up around the edge. He may end up inside. It's where is there room to run, and this is going to be a feel thing. Since your R is a running back normally, he's going to know, hey, that's where I'd like to run. I'm going to lead him right through there. And then the ball is being snapped direct to your quarterback who is lined up on the left, and he is taking this thing, and his job very simply is to find the first seam and get in it. It sometimes, it may end up being outside, sometimes it may end up being inside, sometimes it's been backside. He doesn't have rules. He's got to be a guy who catches this snap and he's going to get it. He's just going to go. Can't have hesitation, can't be afraid, can't be concerned, catch the snap and go. And that's 16. This is the base play in the package. There have been games where teams failed to adjust to the unbalanced. I can't explain it. I don't know why. It's on film. But teams didn't adjust, and we just ran 6 every single time. I'd tell the guy as he's headed out there, 6. Okay? There's no huddle. We get out there, 6, go. Okay, this is the bread and butter play, because if they do not adjust to your unbalanced, then you have such a heavy overload, such a hat for hat and bonus that you should win most of the time. And then you want them to think, hey, all they ever do is run this way, because now you've opened up your counter and you've opened up some of your other stuff. You want to run around the edge. I tell him if he sees the edge, take the edge, because that will make the defensive end, linebacker widen out so that now I can get the power. So we have plays out here that are going to give us the chance to make this thing happen. But this play is where we center things in this series. I had to have the power. I started with the power, but this became the play that became the foundation of our unbalanced single wing look. And I never added the spinner stuff, so it's not really an unbalanced single wing offense, I guess, technically. It's just the look that we wanted. So then the play that probably gets run the least, but if they totally overshift and give us the edge, if they just give you the edge to the left side, now you want to run 27, which is your stretch play to the left side. You're looking for count. You're looking for, essentially like a 3-man side. They've totally overshifted to your, generally your 16 play is what they're overshifted to. And if they do this and they leave a big gap in the A-gap, B-gap area, then you run counter. If they do this and they give you room around the edge, then you run the stretch play around the edge. So a couple things that we had to do here, because of the low numbers to the left side, I wanted to get that numbers advantage back. So we've got to figure out, all right, who's the most likely A-gap defender? And that may be, it may be difficult. I found this to be like, sometimes they're not there. And again, so you have to have a kind of mastery of this. You may end up with a combo to backside, something like that, if they can make it happen. We do slow them down sometimes, especially when we call something other than 6, other than 16. We do slow them down to give the offensive line time to communicate exactly what they're going to do, because we run it so much that they're really expecting to come up there and run stretch to the right, and so they may need a minute to discuss it. But to get the numbers back, I'm going to bring 2 guys over again. So the backside tackle, okay, our right tackle, he's blocking his 2. So the center has the 0. The guards have the 1 on the place, and you just count. Once you know the center says 54 is the mic, that's the 0. Okay, next guy is the 1. Next guy is the 2. Next guy is the 3. That's how we count it. They don't have to know A gap, B gap, all that sort of stuff. The center is the only guy. He's responsible for basically deciding who the A gap defender on the call side is and call him 0. We've got a series of rules they run for that. We are going to guard center guard is doing 1-0-1. The Y is blocking the 2 on the play side. Now we're running the 7 stretch left. The backside tackle, the right tackle, who's on the overside, he's blocking the 2, so no change there. We don't need to adjust anything with that. But what we do is we're going to bring the H back around to look to seal the edge or hook a corner or whatever to get us that edge out there that we want to have. And then we were also bringing the backside tackle. Now, as I said before, this backside tackle that we were using was extremely athletic and extremely effective. You may not have that guy that can do this. So it just depends on your personnel. He's got to be able to get there. In order to help him get there, we have the quarterback faking again. Okay, so the quarterback is going to fake. The R is going to take the snap. He's going to fake it to the quarterback. He's going to ride him to let the tackle get over. And then he is going to follow in behind the quarterback. Okay, so that's how we're going to make this work. And you might think, well, man, every time that the quarterback is, or every time that whoever gets the snap is running the play, right? Every single time. That's a dead giveaway. Well, it's not. Obviously we're going to have something for that as well. The X receiver can run his corner route, and the Z receiver can run his shoot route that we'll be using later on. Last but not least, probably the play that gets run the least, so it is least in a way. Whoops. That's the play action pass. And remember I talked about if I see that corner getting up there and making tackles, if that corner... Now, I go back to the 6 became the base play. The stretch right, stretch to the overloaded side became the base play. As long as that's working, I'm not doing anything else. Like, you're going to have to stop that to get us to go to, option 2, option 3, option 5. But if the corner is stepping up there and he is making tackles and they are discounting that X receiver, remember that X receiver has been running a corner route on every single play. Okay, he's been running a corner route, and he always runs a corner route. And you've seen him run a corner route for 3 weeks on film, and you just don't think he'll do it. Like, he's just window dressing. Okay, he's not just window dressing, I promise you. Because as soon as we see that corner stepping up and making a tackle, we can go to this play. Now, I've called this play, and we've thrown it a couple times, but a lot of times we end up running it as well. It is a run pass option, the old school kind where the quarterback can either keep it or throw it. It is going to be the X receiver running a corner route. And remember, this is a 2-point pass type of play, so or type of package. So we're really expecting the X to run back pylon, and we're expecting the Z to run front pylon. But he's got to get into the end zone. So the Z is going to run a little shoot route, a 3-yard shoot, that's going to put him in the end zone at the front pylon and the X at the back pylon. Generally, if the corner is stepping up now, he's going to have the Z taken away. But if he does get a read and bail off, then he's going to be we still have the option of throwing to the Z if the flat defender steps up in the quarterback's face. Okay, so that's what we're getting here. That's the look that we're getting. There's a couple things that make this a play that you want to run, probably even more than we have been. It is a slide protect to the right for the offensive line, as basically all of our play actions are basic slide protection. We zone count it. So the center has got the 0, the guard has got the 1, the tackle has got the 2, all that good stuff. It's your base, 0, 1, 2, 3 rules. The H is giving misdirection. Now, I'll say this with the Y. You can release the Y and have him run back pylon if you want to. If you want to release the Y and have him run, back line of the end zone. Okay, that kind of end zone drag route, he can give you another option, and you might find him back there if you want to do that. You don't have to do that. I've kept him in as protection just because I want to make sure we get it off, but you can do it because the H-back is going to be running. Remember that we had him on all of our counters pulling to the play side. So the H-back, other than this play, is a dead giveaway key that you could use. Now we can counter you with this, and he is going to pull and kick the end man. Okay, he is going to pull and kick the end man. The R, the play is called 27 pass. So it is a play action off of 27. Okay. The R is going to take the snap, and he is going to ride the quarterback. But he is going to, he's going to hop, just like we did on our counters, and give it to the quarterback. So we want to have that fake, that deception in there where it looks like counter. But most of the time, everybody's expecting the quarterback to keep it. Now, one thing that I'll have the quarterback do, when he gets the ball, I'll have him kind of bubble for some depth out of there so that he doesn't get caught up in anything off the edge. Okay? Give himself some depth so he can read it. The R does his little hop step, and then he runs a fake backside. All right, pulls it out of there. It looks like he's pulling it out of there, and then he fakes it to the backside. Again, giving the look, the same look that we gave on counter or on 17. Okay, this is our 27. So we give the look of 27, and then the quarterback comes out. He can throw. He looks deep to short. He looks to throw the corner. He looks to throw the shoot. You know, the Y, I guess he could throw if the free safety has come up. We just never, it's always been just deep to short because this isn't a primary quarterback. Okay, but sometimes he just sees something out there, and usually you're using a pretty good athlete with it. If the X and the Z are covered, he should be able to just take it and run, and we've done that as well. Just pull it down and run it. So it does have a run-pass option element to it, and it breaks a lot of keys, right? Every time that whoever gets the snap is taking the ball. The H is always going to the play. So running this a couple times, putting it on film type of thing is going to give you a key breaker that you definitely want to have. And be sure to check out some of my other videos, including other videos from this podcast. And I've got a lot of other great coaching videos on this channel that you can check out that are shown down below here. Also, if you want to subscribe, make sure you don't miss any future videos. Just click on the logo on the top left of the screen.